everyone, welcome back. This side Alisha Bawa, currently working as an intern with Lexis and Company, and my today's topic of discussion is police in India. You all must have heard of police. Even the youngest child in our family must have heard of police. But do you know how the police works in our society? So this is what we are going to discuss in our video today. So be there and be attentive. Let us start our topic. It is strange that a democratic country such as India does not trust one of the most important administration organs of its elected government, that is, the police. The ruling elite and the middle class citizens see them as a political decoys and blame politicians for not letting the police play their rightful role in the society. Police personnel in India usually subscribe to two kinds of violations. The first is corruption against individuals or institutions, which usually targets the income and livelihood of the victim. Even hawkers, street vendors, and small-time shopkeepers, they are familiar with the demands from the local police station. They are forced to pay weekly payments, also known as haftas, or suffer extortion at the hands of the policemen at frequent intervals, simply to operate their business. Registration of cases too requires a bribe at the police station in charge. The second category of criminal conduct practiced by the police is that of a physical coercion against the suspects of the crimes or agitators. Now, in the aftermath of the emergency, a period which saw great atrocities committed upon the citizen by the police, there was a huge hue and cry against the police and demands of dismantling the central police organizations. The government of India appointed a National Police Commission on 15th November 1977. The commission was appointed for fresh examination of the role and performance of the police, both as a law enforcing agency and as an institution to protect the rights of the citizens enshrined in the Constitution of India. Now, it came out with 3 reports. The power to facilitate abuse by the police is firmly set by the sections 101 to 114 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, which claim that it is for the prosecution to prove the essential elements of offence charged, and if those essential elements are proved, it is for the accused to prove that the case falls within the general or special exceptions to criminal liability recognized by the criminal law. As the law stands at present, there is no special provision as to the burden of proof where injuries were received by a person in a police custody. The Parliament established the National Human Rights Commission to deal with the abuse, but the police torture continues unabated. According to the latest available government data, there were 1,307 reported deaths in the police station and judicial custody in India in 2002. Coming to the conclusion, I would like to say that in his pioneering study of police and political development in India, IT has been pointed out that the police can play a formative role in the political development by virtue of what they do, how they do, what they are, and what they do to each other. He expanded the thesis further and argued that the police affect political development through the things to do and the nature of the actions they perform. The criminal judicial system, and in particular the police, have remained unchanged for the last 140 years. There has been no difference in the behavioral aspect of a police personnel either. Police personnel see themselves as rulers and guardians of the state, emphasizing order and maintenance rather than the service of the people. India is a nation where bureaucrats of every rank indulge in notorious dealings undaunted by the police and the so-called enforcers of law and order, because these officials are practiced in the art of bribery and influence. Now it ranks 70 in the list of 163 least corrupted countries. It is worth a mention that the total monetary value of bribes paid in the country in a year amounts to obscene sum of rupees 3,899 crores. Another remarkable fact is that in UP and Delhi, 53 and 43% of the police officials are transferred from one district or place to another. It is fairly evident that the police function in a way that subsequently involves filing of their own pockets. Schemes initiated by the government or the public at large are never implemented. The problem lies in the fact that there are sections of police officers who, instead of combating crime and its perpetrators, decided to join them, a proposition that is more profitable and less risky. The criminalization of politics has affected police performance more than that of any other state institution. So this was all about the topic. I would also like to conclude it with the quotation or a proverb that is in Malayalam, which read as the carpenter's ignorance and the wood's defect, which means that the both carpenter and the wood are at fault. Similarly, both the police as well as the people are responsible for the enforcement of justice in the society. So this was all about the topic of today. I hope you would like my video. Thank you.